You're trapped in a race you never signed up for. Every time you scroll, you see someone ahead, richer, fitter, more successful, and just like that, your own progress feels like nothing. Not because you're failing, but because you're measuring yourself against someone who started years before you. And that's the trap.
Comparison can be so dangerous because of the fact that it is never ending.
No matter how far you go, there's always someone further. No matter what you achieve, there's always more to chase. But what if you were never meant to run their race?
Man, your fate's enough, and your adventure's enough. It's plenty. It's more than you can ever fully realize.
Today, we're breaking down how comparison is wrecking your mindset, and more importantly, how to break free before it's too late. My friend, let's be real for a second. How many times have you scrolled through Instagram, TikTok, or whatever app you use and thought, why is everyone else ahead of me? And you see the guy with the six-pack who somehow never skips a gym day, the girl who seems to travel to a new country every week, the entrepreneur who made 6 figures by 25, and you're sitting in your room in the same routine, wondering where you went wrong. That feeling, that pit in your stomach, that is comparison kicking in.
When comparison kicks in, we feel insecure.
But here's the part social media doesn't show you. That ripped guy, he might be battling self-doubt every day. That girl posting vacation pics could be drowning in debt. That entrepreneur, maybe they're burning out, questioning if they even love what they do. My friend, most of us compare their starting point to someone else's peak. You see their success, but not the years of effort, failure, and setbacks behind it. And let me tell you, every minute you spend wishing you had someone else's life is a minute spent wasting yours. Stop thinking you're doing it all wrong. Your path doesn't look like anybody else's because it can't, it shouldn't, and it won't. You see their success, but not the years of effort, failures, and setbacks behind it.
Instead of spending a lot of time to think how you're worse than other people and compare yourself to other people, try to do one thing. Try to compare yourself to one person, and that is yourself.
Your only competition is who you were yesterday. Every second spent wishing for someone else's life is a second wasted on building your own. The truth is, social media is a highlight reel. Nobody posts their worst moments. Nobody shares their breakdowns, their doubts, their nights spent questioning everything. It's like watching a movie and thinking, why isn't my life scripted and perfect too? Because that's not how life works. And yet we compare our raw, unfiltered, behind the scenes reality to someone else's carefully edited highlight reel.
Research tells us that the more we compare ourselves to other people, the less happy we are. It just makes us insecure.
It's a never-ending cycle. You feel like you're falling behind, so you scroll more, hoping to find motivation, but instead you just feel worse. And the worst part, the people you're comparing yourself to might be doing the exact same thing. So what's the solution? You stop playing the game. You shift your focus from them to you. Ask yourself, am I a little better than I was last week? Am I growing in the ways that actually matter to me? Am I taking real steps toward my goals, no matter how small? I used to think I needed to keep up with everyone, scrolling, watching, comparing, until one day I caught myself feeling drained over someone else's success. That's when it hit me. I wasn't chasing my own growth. I was just trying not to fall behind. So I did something different. I muted the noise, focused on my own lane, and for the first time, I felt in control. My friend, I want you to try this as well. What's one small shift you can make today to stop the comparison and start living on your own terms? Drop it in the comments. I'm listening. Let's be real, your brain isn't playing fair. It's wired for survival, constantly scanning for threats, weaknesses, and competition. Back in the day, that meant comparing yourself to the people in your village. If you weren't as fast, as strong, or as skilled, you risked falling behind.
That people are like, I'm afraid of failing. No one's afraid of failing. People are afraid of other people's judgment about their failure.
But today, you're not just comparing yourself to a handful of people, you're up against millions. Social media, news, and success stories flood your brain with one clear message. You're behind. You're not doing enough. Look how far ahead everyone else is. And the worst part, your brain eats it up. It doesn't care that you're working hard, making progress, and doing things at your own pace. All it sees is someone ahead of you, and suddenly it feels like you're losing, even when you're actually winning. Here's how it messes with you. You hit a new milestone, but instead of celebrating, you think, yeah, but someone else did it faster. You start questioning your path, wondering if you should be doing what they're doing instead. You feel frustrated, even when you're making real progress, because someone, somewhere, is doing better. Sound familiar?
The biggest competitors in the world are a lot less worried about the competition than you might think.
Because they know the truth. Comparison is a distraction. If you're always looking sideways, you'll never move forward. Think about this. What happens when you hyper-focus on other people? You start second-guessing your choices. You waste time analyzing their every move. You lose sight of what actually matters, your own growth. And worst of all, you lose confidence in yourself. Because the more you look outward, the less you trust your own path. And when you don't trust yourself, you hesitate, you doubt, you hold yourself back.
The more you are focused on yourself, the more miserable you are. It's as simple as that.
So what's the fix? Turn the focus inward. Instead of measuring yourself against someone else's timeline, ask yourself, am I better than I was a month ago? Am I building the habits that will take me where I want to go? Am I making progress no matter how small? Because that's what actually matters. When you stop chasing someone else's version of success and start showing up for yourself, everything shifts. Ever noticed how when you compare, you only look up? You don't compare yourself to who you were last year. You don't see how far you've come. Instead, you fixate on how much further you think you have to go. It's like running a marathon and only staring at the finish line, never stopping to realize how many miles you've already conquered. And that's exactly why so many people feel stuck. Instead of saying, why aren't I there yet? Try saying, look at where I was a year ago. Why? Because progress is slow, but it's real. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it. Your brain plays tricks on you. It zooms in on people ahead of you while completely ignoring the struggles, setbacks, and lessons they had to go through to get there. You see someone crushing it in business, in fitness, in life, and you think, why am I not at their level yet? But here's the truth. You don't see the full picture. You don't see the years of trial and error. You don't see the failures they learned from. You don't see the moments they almost quit. Instead, you just see their highlight reel and compare it to your behind the scenes.
Not trying is failing. There's a lot of things that people can't do simply because you've never tried to do it.
So what's the fix? Start tracking your own growth. Let's say you're working on a goal, learning a skill, getting in shape, building something meaningful. Now imagine a younger version of yourself 1 year ago. If they could see you now, how would they feel? Would they be impressed by what you've done? Would they wish they were this strong, this consistent, this confident? Because that's who you should be comparing yourself to. Every single step you take today is building the person you'll be in a year, 5 years, 10 years. So instead of stressing about how far you haven't gone, focus on the fact that you're moving forward at all. Stop asking, why am I not there yet? Start asking, how can I make today count? Because one day you'll look back at this moment and you'll either be proud of how far you came or regret that you wasted time worrying about things that never really mattered. Let's be honest, jealousy is a gut punch. You see someone crushing it in life, doing the exact things you wish you were doing, and instead of feeling inspired, you feel stuck. It's frustrating, it's uncomfortable. And worst of all, it feels completely out of your control. I know this feeling all too well because for a long time, I let it drain me. I'd scroll through social media, see someone launching their dream business, getting in incredible shape, or living this seemingly perfect life, and it would send me into a spiral of, why not me? What am I doing wrong? It felt like I was losing a race I didn't even sign up for. But here's the truth. Jealousy isn't the problem. It's what you do with it that matters. Once I figured out how to flip that feeling into action, everything changed. Instead of jealousy slowing me down, it started fueling me. It made me sharper, more focused, and more relentless. I'll be honest, jealousy used to eat me alive. I'd see someone winning, doing exactly what I wanted to do, and instead of feeling inspired, I felt stuck, like I was falling behind. But then I asked myself, what if this feeling isn't a problem? What if it's a signal? That shift changed everything. Now, whenever that feeling creeps in, I know it's pointing me towards something I actually want. So tell me, what's something you see in others that sparks that fire in you? Not just envy, but the thing you know you could have if you put in the work. Let's talk. Most people treat jealousy like a bad emotion, something to be ashamed of. But here's what I realized. Jealousy is a map. Think about it. When you're jealous of someone, it's because they have something you want. That means jealousy isn't just some toxic feeling. It's your brain's way of showing you what actually matters to you. The problem isn't the jealousy itself. It's what happens when you let it consume you instead of using it as a guide. So instead of feeling guilty for being jealous, I started asking myself one simple question. What exactly am I jealous of? Because that one question changes everything. If I see someone killing it in business, am I jealous of their money, their lifestyle, their freedom, their ability to create something meaningful? If I feel a sting when I see someone leveling up in fitness, am I envious of their body, their discipline, their routine? The more specific I get, the more I understand what I actually want. And once I have clarity, I stop obsessing over them and I start focusing on me.
It's not so much what's the matter with me, it's what matters to me most.
Once I've figured out exactly what I'm jealous of, I turn that person into my teacher. Because let's be honest, if someone is ahead of me in something I want to achieve, that means they know something I don't. So instead of seeing them as competition, I see them as proof that it's possible. If they could do it, why can't I? Here's how I do this. 1, I study their moves. What did they actually do to get where they are? What habits, strategies, or mindsets got them there? 2, I look for patterns. Successful people leave clues. What do they all seem to have in common? 3, I apply what makes sense. For me, not everything will work for me, and that's okay. I take what fits and leave the rest. The goal isn't to copy them, it's to learn from them and build my own path forward.
The body, mind, and character that you will have in the future are being actively shaped by how you choose to use your time today.
Step 3, use jealousy as proof that it's possible. Here's something that used to hold me back. And I'd see someone doing what I wanted to do, and instead of feeling motivated, I'd feel discouraged. It's easy to think they're already doing it. The space is too crowded. There's no room for me. But that's just another excuse to stay stuck. Now, whenever jealousy hits, I flip the script. If they can do it, I can do it too. Their success isn't a threat. It's evidence that my dreams aren't crazy. It's proof that this thing I want, it's achievable.
The body, mind, and character that you will have in the future are being actively shaped by how you choose to use your time today.
Once I started thinking this way, everything changed. Instead of jealousy making me feel less than, it became the push I needed to take action. Step 4, make a plan and get to work. This is where most people get stuck. They think about making changes. They talk about how they wish they could do something different, but they don't move. And nothing changes until you do something. So once I know what I want and what's possible, I take the next step. If I'm jealous of someone's fitness, I map out a training schedule and commit to it. If I'm jealous of someone's business success, I study their strategy and apply what I learn. If I'm jealous of someone's creative output, I set up a daily practice to improve my craft. The key, small, consistent steps.
The body, mind, and character that you will have in the future are being actively shaped by how you choose to use your time today.
I don't try to change my whole life overnight. I focus on one thing I can do today to move in the right direction. And every time I take action, that jealousy loses its grip on me. Step 5, surround yourself with the right people. The people you spend time with will either fuel your growth or drain your ambition. I used to surround myself with people who complained about life, made excuses, and stayed stuck. And guess what? I stayed stuck too. Then I started surrounding myself with people who were driven, people who wanted more out of life, who were actually chasing goals instead of just talking about them. And suddenly my mindset shifted. When you're around people who are constantly leveling up, you start leveling up too.
I mean, if you want to be successful in life, you definitely either want to surround yourself with people who are also ambitious in the things that you enjoy and love.
This doesn't mean cutting off all your friends, but it does mean being intentional about who influences you. Because if you're constantly around people who settle for less, you'll start settling too.
When we invest in ourselves, we invest in our future. And in order for us to believe in ourselves, we have to believe in possibility. And when we believe in possibility, we believe in ourselves.
Do this and jealousy won't hold you back. It'll be the thing that pushes you forward. And before you know it, you'll be so busy building your success that you won't even have time to compare. Your future isn't written yet. Everything you want, everything you think is impossible right now, is just on the other side of effort, consistency, and belief. Here's what I want you to do. 1, stop checking their progress, start tracking yours. 2, cut out distractions that make you feel behind. 3, focus on one thing you can improve today. Because when you start living for you, not for likes, validation, or keeping up, you start winning in ways you never expected. Let me tell you a story from my own life. A few years ago, I was stuck, not in a dramatic, rock bottom kind of way, but in a slow, numbing sense of stagnation. I had ideas, I had dreams, I had things I wanted to do, but I wasn't doing them. I was overthinking, analyzing every outcome, waiting for the perfect moment to start. One day, I was sitting in my room feeling frustrated, scrolling through social media, watching other people do the things I wished I was doing. And then I read something that changed everything. It wasn't some deep philosophical quote or a grand realization. It was just a simple idea. And
thinking won't change your life. The only way you're going to change your life or change your career or change your health is to take action.
And it hit me hard. I had spent so much time thinking about what I wanted to do that I never actually did anything. My brain tricked me into believing that overanalyzing was productive, that waiting until I felt ready was smart. But in reality, it was just fear dressed up as logic. I made one simple rule for myself. Whenever I catch myself overthinking, I have to take action immediately. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. Even if it's something small, and let me tell you, it was uncomfortable. It felt unnatural. My brain wanted to resist, but action is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The first time I did this, I forced myself to start something I had been putting off for weeks. And guess what? It wasn't nearly as hard as I had made it out to be in my head. Because that's the thing, most of what we fear is just our imagination running wild. The actual process of doing something is rarely as terrifying as we think. And the more I acted, the more momentum I built. The fear didn't disappear, but it stopped controlling me. Most people stay stuck because they think they need confidence before they take action. They think they need to feel motivated, prepared, ready, but that's not how it works. Confidence comes from action, not the other way around. The more you do something, the more you believe in yourself, the more proof you give yourself that you can figure things out. This is why the most successful people don't wait. They start before they feel ready, because failure isn't the enemy, inaction is.
You were in moments where you were lost, you got moving, you did something, you had a bias towards action.
Yeah.
And failure is feedback. Feedback is knowledge. Knowledge is power.
If you're stuck in overthinking mode, here's what you need to do. 1, pick one thing you've been putting off, something small, a task, a habit, a decision. 2, give yourself 5 seconds, literally count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 3, do something, send the email, write the first paragraph, make the call, do the push-up, start before your brain talks you out of it. That's it. The goal isn't to be perfect, it's to break the cycle of hesitation, because hesitation is what kills dreams, not failure. You know that version of yourself you keep dreaming about? The one who's confident, successful, doing all the things you say you want to do? They don't exist in some distant future. They exist on the other side of the action you refuse to take today. My friend, one day you'll look back at this exact moment and realize it wasn't some huge breakthrough that changed everything. It was the decision to start, to stop watching from the sidelines, to stop letting fear, doubt, or comparison hold you back. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and action is what separates those who dream from those who do. And right now, you have a choice to keep waiting or to take the first step. As Bruce Lee once said, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And if you're ready to take this even further, you might find this video right here helpful. But for now, go. Every step forward is a win. Keep building, keep growing, and don't let up.